Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to teach you how to make paper doll hair. And yes, this is part 2 of our hair tutorial, but there is a bunch of hair textures we're going to go over, from dreadlocks to braids to afros to curls, all the way down to our straightest hair. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know on how to make your paper doll hair. And as you can see, we're going to start off with the buzz cut look. This is the easiest tutorial, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to need for this tutorial is a paper doll, and please make sure it's laminated because we're going to be painting on our paper doll. You're also going to need some acrylic paint. You can use any brand acrylic paint. And next you're going to need a paintbrush, and make sure you use the smallest paintbrush that you have on hand. And now let's get straight into it. I like to use my pencil case lid as a little paint tray, and you're just going to get a little drop of paint. You're going to dip your paint, and we're going to start off with our buzz cut. And to do this, all you need to do is make a horizontal line of dots going across from one side to the other. After you're done making your horizontal line, you're going to start from your horizontal line and bring it all the way down until you reach the ear right over there. And you're going to do it on the left side as well. Start from the horizontal line at the top and then bring it all the way down to the ear. After you do that, you're going to fill in the empty space with more dots. Now the reason why we're not filling it in completely is because we want it to look like a buzz cut. And usually when you get a buzz cut, it looks like little specks of hair is on your head, and that's the effect that we're going for. And you're going to continue to fill the head until you get your desired look. Now I'm not gonna lie, right now it looks really crazy, but we're going to continue to fill in the hairline as well as the sides of the hair until we get the realistic look that we're going for. And if it doesn't look too realistic, that's okay, because this is a paper doll. At the end of the day, we're just having fun. And yeah, just enjoy your process. You don't have to stress yourself out. This is all about being creative and having fun. So now that we're done with the sides of the hair, we're going to focus on the top part of the hair. I'm going to go in with more dots, and we're just going to touch up the line one more time by the hairline area. We're a little above the hairline area, and we're just making more dots. And after you make those dots, you're going to then get more paint, and you're just going to fill in everything without making dots. And you're done. This is the buzz cut look. I usually do this for my guys, but as you can see, our girl paper doll, it actually suits her really nice, and you can actually put designs to make it more unique. I didn't wait for this to dry, so it ended up looking a little raggedy, but it still kind of ended up looking pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, this is an easy hairstyle to do with any of your paper dolls. You don't need to wait or anything. You can just literally get your paint and get started. So I just have my little coin out, and I'm just going to show you quickly how to line up your paper doll. And the reason again why we did the dotted line around the hairline is because sometimes you want to give your paper doll a shape up. And please do not do what I did. I tried to give it like a little design with the coin, and it ended up looking so bad. So I just took off all of the hair, and that's okay because we're actually moving on to the next part of our hair tutorial, which is making a slicked back hair look. Before you do that, make sure that everything is wiped off. You can get a rag with water and clean up any other residue. But anywho, we're gonna get our next color. We're gonna use our baby blue, and we're gonna make vertical lines starting all the way from the top and going all the way down to the ear. So this is how it's looking right now. It's not really complete. I mean, if you want to leave it like this, you can. But with my paper dolls, I like to make edges. So I'm going to teach you how to make edges for your paper doll. So starting on the right side, we're going to make one swoop like that. And then connect 2 more swoops to that one swoop. So it looks like 3. Then we're going to connect a backward 6 to the end of those 3 swoops. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So again, make 1 swoop, and then we're going to connect 2 more swoops so it looks like 3. And then we're going to make a frontwards 6. The regular way that you write a 6, that's how you're going to do it. And I'm just going to clean the right side again, just like that. And we're going to move on to the other side of the edges. Again, make 3 swoops, just like that. Hopefully I'm explaining it well, but you know, I learned how to make edges by just, you know, freehanding it. And you don't have to make it look exactly like this. If you don't want to make 3 swoops, if you want to do 2, you can do 2. If you want to do 1, you can do 1. If you don't want to put 6s, maybe you want to do, I don't know, 2 6s. You can do any way that you want. Just make sure that you're having fun at the end of the day. Make it your own style. And yeah, you're done. This is how I make my edges, and you're going to see throughout the video the edges are not going to look exactly like this. They're going to have their own little style to it. And as you can see, we have May. Her edges look totally different, and I like to make edges to my paper dolls to make the hair look a little more full. If you look at Pink Pantheress over here, she doesn't have any edges and her head kind of looks bald headed, so I was like, let me fix her up before I sell her on my shop, because I don't really like when my dolls look bald headed. So yeah, I'm gonna fix her up. And also you can see who is this, Heavenly Pearl, Lexley Heavenly Pearl. She is our albino paper doll. I had to remember her name real quick, almost forgot. But as you can see, she has a sleeked back hairstyle, and you can add a whole bunch of stuff to the hair, like puff balls, or you can make like, what is this, like a puff ball chain. You can make that into a ponytail or 2 pigtails. You can have fun and be creative with your projects. So now we're going to go over the hairstyles using straight hair. And as you can see, Abby and Sweet, we already did her tutorial in the first one, so I'm not going to take too long on that part. We're also going to learn a new method on how to make bangs. As you can see, these bangs are a little more lucid, a little more movable. Sorry if Barbie is looking really crazy. I'm going to show you later in the video me cutting her bangs, but I like when they look crazy because then I can fix them up later. But you're going to see that Abby, her bangs are really stiff, and I'm going to move over to her in a minute. Abby's bangs are really stiff, and you can't really get to her forehead. And this may be something you like, but if you're someone who likes to do like skincare on your paper dolls, then the Barbie method is definitely going to be the method for you. And you'll notice that one of our paper dolls, Draculaura, she has highlights in her hair. This was actually really easy and fun to do, and yeah, we'll go over this as well in the straight hair part of the tutorial. And all of the tips and tricks that you get from the straight hair section, you could also do with the curly hair section. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with our watercolor paper, and yes, I'm using watercolor paper throughout the whole tutorial. And if you don't have watercolor paper, I'll probably start selling bundles of it for like, I don't know, like a couple of dollars and some change. But you know, watercolor paper is the best because it's a little more sturdy. And then you're going to get your pencil, make sure your paper doll is facing downwards, and then we're going to trace the top part of the head. You should already know how to do this. We did this from the first part of the tutorial. If you didn't watch it, you can definitely go back and watch it again. But we're just going to quickly cut around the top of the bang. And yes, this is the bangs that we're cutting for the top of our paper doll hair. And yes, please do not cut on that line, cut around the line. Now we're going to make a second bang, and we're just going to trace over the first bang, and we're just going to cut all the way around until we get the same shape. So now we have 2 bangs. In the first tutorial, I only used 1 bang, but you're gonna see throughout the tutorial why I made 2 bangs. So now we're gonna color our hair. Make sure you don't cut the hair yet. You have to color it first and then you cut the hair. After your hair is nice and dried, you're going to get your scissors and you're going to cut vertical lines. Make sure you don't cut all the way to the tippy top. You want to leave some space because we're going to tape the hair to the paper doll. And we also don't want to have the hair or the different strands of hair ripping off. So make sure you cut it, leaving at least like 1 inch, about like 1 inch of space at the top. And you're done. This is the first part of the bang, and we're going to do the same thing to the second bang, and now we're going to overlap it until it's connected like so. And as you can see, the bangs look a little more full. You're going to notice with Abby, she only has 1 layer of bangs and it's not really too full, but Draculaura, she has 2 bangs. She has 2 layers of bangs and it gives it a nice full effect. Depending on what style you're going for, you may want the bangs to not be too full, so it's up to you to choose whether or not you want 2 bangs or 1. So now that we have our bangs, we're just gonna get it and put it to our paper doll head. Now it looks long for a reason. I like to make it long because I like to cut it afterwards. But after you see how it looks on your paper doll, you're gonna turn it around and you're gonna get your tape and you're gonna tape the hair to the paper doll base.
It's not that I don't want you here. It's something about the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist. We can get away, come chase beach views and then every day. All I wanna hear is an visions that we play. Sit right next to you. I try not to show how I feel about you.
After you just attach your first bang to your paper doll base, you're going to get your second bang and you're going to connect it to the first bang, making sure everything lines up perfectly. And then you're going to get your little glue agent, whether it's hot glue, whether it's the liquid glue, whatever type of glue, even tape. You can use tape as well, but I find that hot glue works the best and it's faster for me to use. Make sure that if you are a minor, if you're younger, ask your parent if you can use hot glue. If they don't mind you using hot glue, then go crazy with it. I'm just kidding, don't go crazy. Use a little dollop of glue and that should be just enough to keep your paper doll hair sturdy. So from tutorial 1, you should know how to make the bundles already. You're going to get your bundles and you're going to attach it to the back of your paper doll head. And I'm going to turn her around real quick so you can see how I tape it down. You're going to get your tape that you prepared at the side and you're just going to secure it down like so. So you're going to notice in a second that the reason why we tape it down that way is because when you move the hair, it becomes very movable and flexible. So if you want your paper doll hair to be movable, you're going to tape it down, half of the tape on the paper doll base and half of the tape on the actual hair, so that when you move it back and forth, it looks like it's actually like movable, like silky hair. Obviously, this is just paper. It's not supposed to look exactly like hair, but there's different methods and ways to make the hair look a little more realistic that can really help your paper doll out. So after adding those bundles, if you feel like your paper doll's hair looks a little thin, if you want to add some more lusciousness to the hair, a little more fullness to the hair, you can actually add a second bundle, a second layer of hair to your paper doll. So after I'm done adding my bundles, you're gonna see the hair looks a little more full, and this is exactly how I want the paper doll to look. And now we're gonna go in with our scissors. You were probably wondering, FunBlindBag, her hair is too long. Well, I like doing this because it's so fun, like cutting the bangs and like, I don't know, I feel like a hairstylist whenever I cut their hair, so I just like doing that. And as you can see, I cut it, it's still a little long, but the reason why I keep it somewhat long is because I like to curl it with my fingers. And yes, you're gonna notice in some of my videos I have paper curling rods. You don't need to use curling rods, you can just use your finger and bend it. And the reason why this paper is so sturdy when it comes to bending it and forming it is because this is watercolor paper, and watercolor paper is stronger than any regular paper like printer paper. And you're done. I really like this look, but we're gonna add some little more oomph to this style by adding some highlights. And off camera I just made a nice little lavender track, and we're gonna cut at least 2 to 3 strands. In this strand I'm just cutting 2 strands off, and we're gonna attach this to the hairstyle that we have in the back right there. And make sure you get some tape. We're gonna fold it up and roll it to make 2 sides of the tape sticky, and we're gonna put it on the blank side of the track. So we're gonna lift up the hair, the first layer of the bangs, and we're gonna put the track in between. And this highlight is a little more subtle. We don't want it to be too bold. We're gonna make some bold highlights, but we don't want the highlights to overpower the look. So I'm just gonna cut the bang a little bit, and then I'm also gonna curl it so that it blends in with the rest of the hair. After you do that, I'm just going to get a second piece of the highlight, and we're going to do the same thing, but with that highlight I use 3 strands. The last highlight that we're going to add, it's going to be the boldest highlight that we are going to do, and it's going to be on the top layer of the bang. We're going to cut it again, making sure that it lines up with the bang, and then we're also going to cut the top part as well so it blends in with the rest of the bang. Next, we're going to go in with the rest of the hair, and we're going to add our highlights until our look comes together. You don't have to make the highlights overpower. You don't have to do too much highlights. If you want to do a lot of highlights, you can do it, but I love how this hair ended up looking. It's kind of giving like a unicorn type of vibe. I like it. It's like cotton candy even. And yeah, this was a really cute look. I was so upset that I had to take this down. But I had to take it down because I wanted to show you that you can do a lot of different type of hairstyles with the straight hair. Like for example, ponytails. The same tracks that we use, we're going to put these hair in the back so we can make ponytails, just like Draculaura. So all you're going to do is get those 2 tracks that you had, and we're going to actually overlap them together so that the hair looks a little full. And again, we're going to use our hot glue to attach the ponytails together, and then we're going to cut it in half. After you cut it in half, then we're going to go to the top and we're going to cut around, making a half circle. And if you cut some of the tracks off by accident, that's okay. You're going to notice one of the tracks is actually going to come off, but that is okay. And we're going to do the same thing with our second track. So we have our 2 tracks, and this is going to be our ponytails. You can make ponytails like Draculaura, or what's her name? I'm going to insert the anime character, not anime, I don't know, some Japanese character. I'll show you a picture what I'm talking about, but you can do those hairstyles, or you can even curl the hair. As you can see, again, the watercolor paper is very strong, so whatever form you're making, it will definitely stay to that form. It will stay stiff and sturdy in whatever style that you make for your paper doll. And as you can see, I'm having fun. I'm looking at different styles for the paper doll, and I'm trying to figure out what style I want to give her, but I was having a lot of trouble. But you're gonna see at the end, her style ended up looking really cute, and it took me some time, but it ended up working out in the end. So this is the hairstyle that we ended up with. I like it. It's giving like a unicorn vibe, like I said before. I wish I added some purple highlights to the ponytail, but that's okay. We're not going to keep this hairstyle because we're actually going to be making another hairstyle using the blue hair, and we're going to go over the Barbie method on how we make the bangs. So let's take everything down. Make sure you take the tape off as well, and we're going to use one of the tracks that we had left over. We're going to start off by putting it behind the paper doll's head, and then we're going to bring it forward and bring it down. And as we bring it down, you're going to pinch down at the top of the head to make sure that the hair stays down permanently. After you're done pinching the hair down, making sure that it's stiff and it's nice, you're going to make sure you get your tape, and you're going to tape it to the back of the head like so. And I just wanted to turn it around so you can see what's going on in the back, but you're just going to do the same thing, going at an angle slightly, and you're going to bring it down, overlapping on the front piece that we made, and we're going to make sure that it forms to the head as well. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side of your paper doll's head. And this was the Barbie method on how to make the bangs. As you can see, the bangs is a little more movable, it's more flexible, so you can do stuff like part the hair even, and you can see more of the forehead. And if you're someone who wants the forehead, if you want to see the forehead, or if you're someone who does like pimple popping on your paper doll, then I would definitely suggest using the Barbie method. So after I just taped the sides of the hair down, I'm just going to get my scissors and I'm going to cut the bangs a little bit just so it looks like how I want it to look. And then I'm going to use my finger again to curl and make little swoops. And I like how this ended up. I wish I could keep her hair like this, but I ended up not keeping her hair like this. There's many different hairstyles that we're going through in this video. And yeah, with the ponytail, I just turned it upside down or right side up, and I pinned it down using a bobby pin, so it ended up making a bun like so. And this is the look. Again, I wish I could keep it like this. It's giving me like Tinkerbell kind of vibes, but I had to take it down because we're going through different styles in this video. But anywho, let's take down the hair and let's move to the next part of our tutorial. So I wanted to quickly go over different thicknesses when it comes to cutting the strands. As you can see with this first strand of hair, it's very fair, it's very thin, and this is the type of strands I used on our pink Pantheress doll. You would want this for your straight hair, but not for the curly hair that we're going to go over. Next is the medium thickness, and we've been using this the whole time for the tutorial, but we're going to move on to the thickest level, which is for our curls. Now, by all means, you can use the thin strands of hair and you can make curls with the thin strands, but you're going to find in a minute that it will take you a really long time to curl the hair if you use the really thin level at the side at the far right. But if you use the far left, it's going to be very easy to curl the hair. So off camera, I just switched out the blue for the lavender, and we're going to go over how to give your hair a nice curly pattern. To do this, you're going to have to get each and every individual strand, and you're gonna curl it in your fingers like so. If you ever curled a paper dollar bill or any type of dollar, this is how you're gonna curl it, using your finger, curling each and every strand of hair. And yes, this is why we chose the thickest level of hair. If you cut it really thin, that means you're gonna have to curl even more hair. But if you follow the method and cut the thickest strands of hair, you're gonna make it super easy for yourself to curl the hair at the end. And again, if you want to use the thin method or even the medium thickness, you can definitely try it out. I feel like it would be super cool, but for this tutorial right now, it's already a half an hour long and we do not want to make it any longer. So let's go in with pasting the hair. I didn't really know what style I was going for, so I just ended up putting some hair to the back and seeing how it would end up. And after I posted both sides of the hair with the curls, it ended up looking really cute. It looked like a sleek back curly pony type look, and I liked it, but I wanted to add some curls to the top. So just like what we did with the first method on how to make bangs like Abby, we're gonna do the same thing, but instead of keeping it straight, we're gonna curl the bangs. So after you curl the bangs, then you're gonna paste it just like how you did in the first part of the tutorial. And now I'm just gonna add some more curls to the side as need be. You can add as much curls as you want, but I'm just gonna fill her up with curls until I feel like it looks nice. So this is how it ended up looking. I feel like I could have curled the top part more so we didn't have like all of this empty space. So to cover up the empty space, I added the low pony and I added it to the top to give it a high pony look, and I actually feel like this looks way better. If you want to add highlights or add anything that you learned from the first part of this tutorial, you can definitely do that and make your curly hair girl a little more unique. But we're going to move on to the next part of our curly hair tutorial. We're going to make an afro. And to start, we're going to start off with some cardboard. You're going to put it behind your doll and you're going to trace into the style or design that you want your afro to look like. I want it to look like this. If you want it to be bigger, you can definitely do that, but I want to keep it small just to save up on some time. Then I just added 2 small dots of hot glue and we're going to press down on our paper doll so it can look like this. Off camera, I made these curls and they're really short and they're not too long, and the reason for that is because usually afros are really coily and short, so make sure you go for that if you want. And then we're just gonna stack the hair together until we get something like this, and you're just gonna keep on layering it together until it comes together to look like an afro. Again, like I said, you don't have to cut them short. If you want to make the afro long, you can definitely make longer strands, but just to save some time, I made short strands, and as you can see, this is how the hair ended up looking. And I actually got some tweezers and later I just took out some of the curls so it can look a little more realistic, look a little more curly, because usually afros, they're not so neat. Well, unless you pat down your fro, then yes, it'll look neat. But as you can see, it brings out the curls when you take out some of the strands, and I like it. I wish I added color. Her hair looks like popcorn kind of, but you know, we can always change it up in the end. So yeah, that was the afro tutorial, and next we're gonna go over our locks and our braids. I'm gonna teach you how to make braids and locks for your paper doll. And to start, we're going to start off with thick strands, and next we're going to get some colored pencils. I would prefer them to be dark, or whatever color you want, that's fine, but make sure it is dark so you can see. Next, we're just going to start off with a V. After you make the V, you're going to go in and you're going to go back and forth, making swoops back and forth. Hopefully that was descriptive enough for you, but just do as you see and not what I say. Just do as you see, and then you should definitely end up with a nice finished look. So I have 2 strands done, and we're gonna move in to do the other strands. And I'm just gonna go in with some different colors just so I can see, okay, which one do I like the best. This color that I'm using right now, it's like a medium dark brown-ish, and then the last color that I'm gonna use is like a lighter brown. I ended up liking the lightest brown. I don't know, it just looks nicer in my opinion, but which color did you like best? I prefer the lighter one, but you can choose whatever color. If you want to, you know, go crazy and use like purple, red, whatever, go ahead. But I was going for like more realism, and I feel like the brown really made the braids pop without making the lines a little too dark and heavy. So I ended up making longer strands of braids, and we're going to connect this to the back and the top of our paper doll hair. Again, we're going to get some tape, just like how we've been doing throughout the whole tutorial, and we're going to tape it to the back of the head. As you can see, her braids look really nice, and we're just gonna add some more oomph to her hair, and we're gonna do that by adding 2 space buns to the top of her head. Boom, we have our space buns, and they look so cute with her braids. And just to make her braids pop a little more, I'm actually going to add some beads. And here is how they look starting off. It's just squares with like little like lines and a dot at the side. And then you just color it in. Color it in whatever color that you want. Now, I wish I made these beads a little bigger because her braids are big. Maybe I think I was a little too big with the braids. Maybe I should have made them like a little thin, but that's okay. You can always make your beads bigger, and you can always make more beads. But after you do that, you're just gonna get your bead and you're gonna place it onto the hair like so. Again, as you can see, the bead is like the same thickness as the hair. I would say make the beads look a little bigger, but in the end, her hairstyle still looks cute, and I would definitely do this hairstyle again. Next, we're going to go in with our dreadlocks. And to do the dreads is the same as the braids, but just cut the tips to make it look round, and then don't draw anything on it. And that is how I do the dreads. And just like how we did Barbie's hair, we're going to push the hair down, starting in the back and then bringing it downwards to her face. And then that is how I make my dreads. Now, I didn't go too in depth with any styles with the dreads because it's literally the same as any other style that we did in this video. You can add a bun to the top, you can leave it down, you can do whatever you like. So after you're done with your dreads, we're gonna move on to the next part and our last part of our hair tutorial for today, and we're gonna be focusing on our yarn hair. To start this tutorial, you're just gonna get some pieces of paper, and you're just gonna cut it all the way around the paper doll head from the ear to ear until it looks something like this. If this is a confusing thing that I'm trying to describe to you, then I'll just make a quick 1-minute tutorial to show you how I made this base, but it was pretty easy. I just got some paper, like leftover paper, and just cut around the head until I got that. And next I'm just gonna take it down because I'm gonna color it the same color as the yarn, but making it darker so that the white doesn't show behind the yarn. So after you do that, you're just gonna place the base behind the doll again and make sure you tape it or hot glue it so it stays stiff. Okay, so next we're gonna get our 4 strands of yarn, and we're gonna turn around the paper doll because we're gonna get some hot glue and we're gonna glue the back of the hair. So as you can see, we're just gonna hot glue it like so, and then you're gonna get your strands and you're gonna place it behind your paper doll like so. And after you do that, you're gonna get your scissors and you're gonna press down, making sure everything is stuck together. So next we're gonna turn it around and we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the back, but we're gonna do it to the front. Again, making sure that you get your hot glue. Now you're gonna notice instead of using the scissors, I use my finger, and that's because I allowed the hot glue to cool down just a little before I press down on it. Now if I were you, if you're a minor, I would just ask a parent to do this with you, because I don't want any of you guys to, you know, accidentally burn your finger. But you're gonna press down and you're gonna see that this is how we want it to end up looking. Some time went by and, you know, I just glued some more here, and I'm just gonna show you one last time how I do everything. Again, get the hot glue, put it on the paper doll just like that. Again, it's going on the hair, the extension of hair that you made. It's not going on the actual paper doll base. And the reason why we made this little base is because if you don't want to keep the yarn here forever, you can definitely peel this off and you can make many different styles that you want for your paper doll. So yeah, we're just hot gluing, doing all that good stuff. And as you can tell, I am kind of done with this tutorial. I just want this to end. It's been an hour. I've been sitting here for an hour, guys, please. Sorry about that. So we're back. So now we're just gonna get the hair. After you're done hot gluing it, we're gonna go in with our edges, because I don't like when my paper dolls has too much forehead showing. Like, I get it, Rihanna, like, she can pull it off, but you know, I don't want too much forehead out, you know. So we're gonna go in with some edges, and just like you've learned from this tutorial, you're going to construct your edges and do it however you want. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine's. As long as you have some swoopy swoops going, then you should be perfectly fine. And we're done. We finally finished. This is the last look and it's so beautiful. It's perfect. I'm so ecstatic. I've been recording this for like a couple of days now, and we can finally come to an end. Everyone's been asking about this tutorial, and hopefully I explained well enough for you guys. If there's something that you guys want me to show you, I'll just put a quick little tutorial in the shorts section, and it will just be a 1-minute tutorial. But other than that, hopefully you learned something new from this little tutorial that we did. And before we end, I just wanted to fix up Barbie's hair, because I was just so like taken aback. Like, looking back at the clips, I was like, man, why did I allow Barbie to like come up on video and her hair is looking like a cave woman, you know? So I just really had to cut her bangs real quick. Her hair, we need to give her a new hairstyle altogether. Let me know what we should do to Barbie. But yeah, I just had to fix her up in the end. And yeah, that is the tutorial that we did for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Yeah, like I said, I've been recording this for like a couple of days, and I'm actually happy that I'm actually posting this. It is done. It is done. I finally did it. The next tutorial that everyone's been asking for is the skincare tutorial, which we're going to come up with next. So again, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.